Kaitamsa
Ukahanja
no washo Kaikaiza
Omaruru
no washo
Kondondieto neno mpaka ulipehole Ushibanda
no washo
Kaitauba Ushiwarongo
no washo
Kongombe akambili ongonjeo Ushakati
no washo
Olushanja lundo unenalikana Ondangwa
no washo
Kolongo wetu Okatima muliro
no washo
Komikoka vyehi Okakarara
no washo
Wetu Ushinene
no washo
Kolombo dembali Epukiro
no washo
Kokule mwache Ipako
no washo
Kohunandera akaero kolupindi Otjozondji
no washo
Komea wetu ngeriara Ombae
no washo
Komea ngoma mbula walikana Koreopota
no washo
Koreopota rikana Ohibiona
no washo
Koshilongo chatateka mukuro uye Umarinda
no washo
Taraha ibeza Ukieti
no washo
Twice Koina mkango mbiango
Ukakuberwa no washo
Konji omukandi wakashorwa Oranye munda
no washo
Kogondi amande letwalikana Betani
no washo
Olongo wetu ukoto Ochesa
no washo
Olongo mbela anashara Ukarasbeha
no washo
Komandelo birongo
Aehe o mahino walikana mebya 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 Kana mebya Kana mebya Kana mebya Kana mebya Kana mebya Namibia no washo
but it's in the before I inserted it said the
NGN sticks up.
Yeah. Okay.
Tirine bakode, tirine bakode. Wakase duran ngaminga, netseske netsesa. Ngakufan, fon fon, no kufan aine bakode. Ngakufan, fon fon, no kufan aine bakode. Saduge geise wakase ran ngaminga, ne bakode. Saduge geise wakase ran ngaminga. Gore ne durati khuna twase dugera gondo. Gore ne durati khuna twase dugera gondo. Ngaminga ta, ngaminga ta, ngaminga ta, ngaminga ta, ngaminga tus, ngaminga tus, ngaminga tus, ngaminga haminga ba, san ngaminga, ngaminga deyinga ba, san ngaminga, ngaminga haminga ba, san ngaminga, ngaminga deyinga ba, san ngaminga, ngaminga. Mire no dingorero, ngaminga rore no dingorero, mire no dingorero, ngaminga rore no dingorero. Ngakufan, fon fon, no kufan aine bakodere. Ngakufan, fon fon, no kufan aine bakodere. Saduge geise twagase ran ngaminga, ne bakodere. Saduge geise twagase ran ngaminga, ne bakodere. Borene quest'anno auto pa hips don't lie, tirami bade queske. Borene quest'anno auto pa hips don't lie, tirami bade queske. Tau kinimado, puri padara tudo. Sa, mami, ra, together. Haminga ba, san ngaminga, ngaminga, deyinga ba, san ngaminga, ngaminga, haminga ba, san ngaminga, ngaminga, deyinga ba, san ngaminga, ngaminga. Mire no dingorero, ngaminga rore no dingorero, mire no dingorero, ngaminga rore no dingorero. Ngakufan, fon fon, no kufan aine bakodere. Ngakufan, fon fon, no kufan aine bakodere. Saduge geise twagase ran ngaminga, ne bakodere. Saduge geise twagase ran ngaminga, ne bakodere. Ngakufan, fon fon, no kufan aine bakodere. Ngakufan, fon fon.
Honorable John Julius Kamusep, Governor of Otjozondjupa Region, Honorable Johannes Hausiku, Chairperson of Otjozondjupa Regional Council, and all the honorable councillors present, the Madam Salome Twauku, representing the Acting Chief Regional Officer, Mr. Shikongo Alwendo, who is not here with us due to other equally important commitments. Chief Executive Officers, I see Mr. Shitombo from Okahanja. Dear stakeholders, colleagues from the Namibia Statistics Agency, members of the media, all protocol observed, good morning. My apologies for starting a bit late. We were trying to put a few things in order. My name is Cornelia Shikongo. I'm the Senior Public Relations Officer for Otjozondjupa Regional Council, and I'll be directing this short program for today, which marks the official launch of the 2023 Population and Housing Census results, as well as Labor Force Census, module results, the regional profile, and other socio-economic indicators by the Namibia Statistics Agency. Now, as per our program, we are supposed to sing the national and AU anthems. Unfortunately, we can't sing anthems if we don't have flags. So we will just get into our program. Allow me, therefore, to call upon the Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Johannes Hausiku, to give us a word of welcome. Honorable Hausiku.
Thank you very much, Director of Proceedings, Honorable Governor of Otjozondjupa Region, Honorable John Julius Kamusep, Honorable Nelau Amagulu, the Councillor of Grootfontein Constituency and member of the Management Committee, Honorable George Garab, the Councillor of Otavi Constituency and member of National Council, Honorable Raman Abdal Muchavikwa, the Councillor of Kakarara Constituency and the member of the Management Committee, Honorable Israel Hukura, the Councillor of Matako Constituency and the member of National Council, Deputy Commissioner of the Namibian Police, Commissioner Petrus Shipepe, Ms. Salome Twauku, representing the CRO, all heads of department, distinguished guests, and all valued participants, good morning. My name is Johannes Hausiku, the chairperson of Otjozondjupa Region and as well as the councillor of Tsumkwe Constituency. On behalf of the Otjozondjupa Region, I warmly welcome the Namibia Statistics Agency, invited guests, and all stakeholders today. Its event. We value the role of accurate and reliable data in guiding development, planning, and decision-making as a region. We stand ready to full support the agency in ensuring that every community is counted in building our nation's future. Statistics are important because they provide systematic data-driven approach to making informed decisions. And with these few remarks, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Can we please give the Chairperson another round of applause? Allow me to please also acknowledge the presence of Deputy Commissioner Shipepe of NAMPO. Shipepe, you're welcome. We are moving on with our program, and I'd now like to give this opportunity to the colleagues from the Namibia Statistics Agency to give us a presentation on census and regional data. My apologies. The high table, we will be moving you today. Can you please take up your seats in the front row so that you'll be able to follow the presentations?
What is this? Huh? The laptop.
Yeah, like the laptop must just stay, because it's like the cable is, so
Okay, maybe
the
I
issues,
touched it,
yeah,
yeah.
it should just be there.
All right. Good morning. I'm very tall for the mic. Unfortunately, I don't know. It cannot be adjusted, but I believe my voice can be heard. Thank you very much, Honorable Governor Kamsep. Let me just stand on all protocol observed this morning. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Unjakuye Kaukwata, the team leader from the Namibia Statistics Agency, who came here to present the regional profile or the census results. I will start with saying that the Namibia Statistics Agency is mandated by the Statistics Act, Act number 9 of 2011. We also use or be guided by the United Nations Fundamental Principle of Official Statistics, which guides the agency in disseminating statistics. Our mandate aims to provide society with relevant, timely, and accurate statistics for evidence-based planning, as well as decision-making. The census data, especially at the lowest administration level, which is the region's constituency, is very, very crucial for supporting decentralized development across the country. And we want to urge all the regional governors, the councillors, to receive and use this data not only as a reference material, but as an instrument of action to sharpen your development strategies, targeting your intervention more effectively, and to ensure that no citizen in your region is left behind. Let me just start with a presentation, and then because I think the most important thing is for the statisticians themselves to disseminate this report, because it's better for you to hear from the horse's mouth That's why I'm starting with the introduction, and then I will give the floor to my colleagues, the statisticians themselves, to take you through the whole statistics that is there. The purpose of us coming here is, if you can remember correctly, we came around 2023 when we were undertaking the massive project, which is the population and housing census. We came to the region, to the constituency, to ask for your support in terms of human resources or financial resources. Now we're coming back, first of all, to appreciate that support that you have provided. It was really appreciated from our side because we couldn't have done it without your support. Secondly, also to give you the results of this census in terms of, because we have already launched the results at the national level where we come up with a main report. However, we know that the citizens are in the regions. They are in a constituency. They also want to know what is going on in their regions. That's why we are launching this officially at the regional level. Now we are here in Otjozondjupa. And again to say that we also want to inform you that we also have another project that we are undertaking. For example, the Namibia Income and Expenditure Survey and financial inclusion that is ongoing. This is the outline of the presentation. We will talk about the introduction, the national population, the regional population, demographic, education, ICT, social welfare, labor force, household and housing conditions. I spoke about it, the Statistic Act number 9 of 2011 that give the statistic agency the mandate to collect, produce, disseminate the statistics for economic, demographic, and social statistics, as well as spatial data. The census generates diverse data on demographic, like I said, on socio-economic information, and plays an essential role in planning, policy formulation, and evaluation. This was Namibia's first digital census with real-time. Where we use computer-aided collection using a handheld devices. The presentation will highlight the national key indicators based on the main report that I have highlighted that we have released on the 30th of October 2024, as well as the labor thematic report that was released on January 29, 2025. With that, I will just give my colleague a chance to start with the population and all the statistics. Thank you.
Thank you, Unja. I think the microphone was tailor-made for me.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started. I have to stand like this. Okay, so here what we are seeing here is basically just the, trying to locate my pointer. Where are you? Oh, here, okay. So what we are... I'm on. Oh, okay. So what we are seeing here is just the population over the years from 1991 up until 2023. So we are saying that the population has increased, and we can see a sharp increase from 2011 to 2023. So from 1.4 million up until 3 million. Can I do the, please, Uja, that would be nice. Okay. So we are also saying that the population from 2011 to 2023 increased by 43%. Okay. And here we just have the population size from 1991 up until 2023 nationally as well. And then we are seeing here that in 1991 up until 2011, we could see that we had more, the population was more concentrated or more higher in the rural areas than the urban areas. And then for 2023, it's sort of a balance. And then these are just the top 10 municipalities by population, just the top 10. Yeah? So we have Windhoek topping up with 32.1%. And then in the middle, we have Swakopmund with 75,000. And then the least, we have Tsumeb with 2.3%. Yes. Okay, so we delve into Otjozondjupa now. Okay, so in Otjozondjupa, we are saying that, so in 2011, we had, Otjozondjupa had 143,000 people with the males topping up. So the male percentage was 51.3%, and then for the females it was 46%. And then in 2023, the population shot up to 220,000, with the males downsized a bit here, Honorable Governor. And then the females 51.3%. And then up here we have the sex ratio for the region. So this basically just means we have, so it says here that we have 105 males for 100 females. So it basically means we have more males than females in the region. So yes, Honorable Governor, we had a little discussion on polygamy. So you can have many wives. Okay, so this is just a population distribution by urban and rural. So in Otjozondjupa, we are saying that Otjozondjupa has 220,000 people, and then the highest is in the urban area, and then followed by the rural. So we are also saying that 63% of the population of Otjozondjupa reside in the urban areas. So this is the population distribution by constituency. So we have in Oshiwarongo, we have 54,000 people. In Okahanja, followed by Okahanja with 46,000, Grootfontein with 36,000, and then the least here, our precious Tumkwe with 15,000. So this is just the population change between 2011, how the constituencies or the whole of Otjozondjupa changed from 2011 up to 2023. So we are saying in general, in Otjozondjupa, so the population changed with about 53%. I'm saying about because we can never be 100% sure or exact, yes. So we are, okay. So in the urban area here, we have a huge shift, 79%. And then the highest was seen in Okahanja with 88.4. And then Omatako had the smallest percentage population change between 2011 and 2023. Okay. So this is now the population distribution by town. So we had it by constituency, and now we have it by town. So as you could also have observed that sometimes the constituencies have a larger number than the distribution of the towns. This is just really because of the classification boundaries, so to speak. Yes. So we are saying in 2023, we had 49,000 people in Oshiwarongo, and then followed by Okahanja with 45,000, Grootfontein, and then the least with Okakarara. Here we have just the concentration of the residential structures. So it's just where most of the people are concentrated. So we have, where we can see where the dots are sort of more clustered, we can see that there are quite a number of people, and we can see here, in terms of residential structures, yeah? So we can see here around Okakarara, we have residential structures here quite clustered. And then another great example would be Tsumkwe, because it's sparsely populated. So we are saying here that, or the results indicate that there aren't really a lot of residential structures around Tsumkwe. Okay, so we move into the demographics. So as we are all aware that Namibia is quite a youthful population, our pyramid sort of goes like that. So it means the lower age groups has a higher population. Oh, sorry, I'm always trying to navigate around the pointer. Okay, here you are. Okay, so this is just Otjozondjupa in general now, yeah? So we are saying that, or the statistics are indicating that 35% of the population are under the ages 0 to 14 years, and then 34% of the population are under the years 15 to 34. So for 15 to 34, this constitutes about 77,000. For 0 to 14, it constitutes about 79,000. And then followed by the adults, and then the least, the elderly. So we are saying in general that at least 70.8% of Otjozondjupa are under the ages 35. This is just, the previous one was more a better representation of this age distribution. So I think we can move on, Nesmus. Marital status. So marital status asked, the questions asked, it was asked to those that were 15 years and above. So 15, because we are trying to include the child marriages. So we had occurrences where we had children that said they were married. So we have, so we have the categories: never married, married with certificate, married traditionally, consensual union. So this is just me and, sorry, Deputy Commissioner. So, but it's me and you being together for 10 or 15 years. So that is also considered a marriage. Yes. And then we have the ones that are widowed, divorced, and separated, and the don't know. So the don't know category in this case basically just means I'm coming to Honorable Governor's house and I don't find him there. I find maybe, let's say, the sister. So I ask the sister about his particulars. And if it comes to marital status, so maybe she doesn't know if he's never married or is in a consensual union. She doesn't know if he falls under any of those categories, then she will just say she doesn't know. So that's where the don't know category comes into play. And then, let's move. Okay, so we are saying that in Otjozondjupa, at least 71% of the population are never married, and the males are topping up. So the males are topping up, followed by the females, and then we can see it's followed by those married with certificate, and then married traditionally, followed by the consensual unions. We can go. All right. So this here is just a brief representation of all the children aged 0 to 4 without birth certificates. So we are saying in Otjozondjupa we have about 25% of the children aged 0 to 4 that do not have birth certificates. And then, was it Omatako? Yes. No, it was in Okakarara. So we can see in the rural part, and Okakarara has quite the highest number here with at least 37% of the children that do not have birth certificates, which is quite something worrisome, especially for Ministry of Health. So, but they are also really doing a lot in terms of the mobile rollouts. Okay. So, and here we have the issuance of the new Namibian identification cards. So those, it's for those that are issued the Namibian identification cards. By new, we mean we are not including the SWA IDs. So those ones are excluded. So we are only focusing on the blue ones and the pink ones, which is for the permanent residents. Yes. So we are saying that in Otjozondjupa, the percentage is quite good. We have at least 83% of the population that have identification cards. The urban topping with the highest with a 90%. The highest is in Okahanja, and then the least of the population that do not have birth certificates are in Omatako. Yes, this is just the orphanhood status in the region. So for orphanhood, it was only asked for those aged 0 to 17. So the blue represents with a child that has at least one parent alive, and then the gold represents a child that does not have both parents alive. So we are saying in Otjozondjupa at least 6.3% of those aged 0 to 17 have at least one parent. So either the mom or the dad is alive, and then Omatako topped the highest with 7.0%. This is for the ones that at least have one parent. And then the gold for both that are not alive, we can see that Omatako still topped up with both parents not alive. And Okakarara and Tsumkwe has the least. So here we have difficulties in performing activities. Next slide. So by performing these activities are either seeing, you have difficulties in hearing, you have difficulties in walking or climbing steps, you have difficulties in remembering or concentrating, you have difficulties in self-care such as washing yourself or getting yourself dressed, or you have difficulties in communicating or rather being understood by others. Let's go back. Okay. So in general, we are saying that at least 3.9% of the population in Otjozondjupa have difficulties in performing the previous said activities, the hearing, seeing, climbing stairs, and then Tsumkwe topped it with 7.0%, and then the least was observed in Grootfontein. Okay, so this is now just by male and female in general. This is now just for the region. So the previous one was for the constituency. So in Otjozondjupa, 44.6% in seeing, and in the females were topping up with 45.6% for seeing, and then communicating or being understood by others. The males topped it up with 15.1%. Ethnicity. So this is just the population distribution by the top 10 ethnic groups in the region. So we have Ovaherero topping up, followed by Damara Nama, not elsewhere classified, Akwanyama, San, Andonga, and then the least with, I think it's Hengom, right? Am I correct? The pronunciation. Okay. Not elsewhere. Not elsewhere classified basically means I'm coming to your household. I'm asking Anna to which ethnic group do you belong to? So I will just say Damara. That's it, without really specifying if I'm Kwekwe Govap, if I'm the other dialects. So that's what not elsewhere classified means. The same for not elsewhere classified Vakavango, and then not elsewhere classified for the Awambo. So, yes. We have, you would say Akwanyama, then you would say it does not, yes, it falls under the category of the Awambo, but here it's distinctly now just broken down into, yes. We can go. Education, we have ECD, so these are just for children aged 0 to 5, early childhood development. And here we are saying that in Otjozondjupa, at least 15% of those aged 0 to 5 attend ECD. And then we can see in the rural part of Otjozondjupa and Tsumkwer, at least 9% of these categories have children that do not attend ECD. So they had the lowest attendance. We can go. Okay. Literacy. So this was just asked to anybody if you can read and write, or read or write with understanding. Yeah? So we are saying that in Otjozondjupa, at least 83% of the population, they are literate, which is good, in my opinion. And then the urban part topped with 90%. And then we also had, so it's Okahanja that had the highest with 91%. And then our precious Tsumkwe here with 58%. Honorable Councillor, we are in a conundrum here. Okay, let's go, Nesmus.
Okay.
Okay, so we have school attendance. So for those that attended school, and for those ones, for the ones aged 6 years and above. So for school attendance, the primary focus, according to Ministry of Health, the focus is always on these guys over here, the ones that never attended. So we are saying that in Otjozondjupa, 13% of the population have never attended school. And then the rural part topped it with 24.6%. Yes. This is now a breakdown based on the constituency. Never attended. We have Otjozondjupa, we have 13.5, and then the rural 24.6. If we break it down, we are saying that Omatako, Tsumkwe, and Okakarara sort of have the highest numbers of those that never attended school. Let's go. Okay. So here is just the proportion of the population aged 6 to 24 years who were attending school. So it was asked to those who were attending school during that reference period. So our age is starting from 6, because it's the school-going age, and then it's ending at 24. Why at 24? It's because it catered for the ones that either started late, or it also catered for the ones that started at a later, that repeated, yes. So that's why the 24. And this really also just shows a normal pattern as you age and then you also go out of school. Okay, so this is the school attainment for the ones aged 15 years and above, for those who left school. Now this one was sort of a bit mixed. It was misunderstood for the ones that were classified as left school. So me leaving school means I'm either a dropout, I left school. It also caters for the ones that, say for example, you are in grade 1 and you left school in grade 2. So it still means that you left school. So we have here, oh dear pointer. Okay. So the primary focus here is also still on the ones, because they say education is always, or primary education is always the foundation that leads to the completion or to the continuation of the secondary and tertiary. So we are focusing, or the prime focus is always on incomplete primary education. So around Otjozondjupa, we have at least 17% of the population that have incomplete primary, and then we have more males than the females that did not complete the primary education. ICT. So these are just the ICT platforms used by the population to access information. We have the internet browsing, social media, email, SMS, MMS, radio, television, mobile apps, and print media. So social media SMS is topping for the region, followed by, we have the highest that was recorded, which is radio, television, internet browsing is slowly picking up. And then for the urban, still the SMS and the television, and the rural part, it was more the radio, which is expected. Yes. And then the SMS. All right, Onesmus. Here we have the same as the previous, but now just breaking it down to the constituencies. In Otjozondjupa, we had the SMS topic with 50%, the urban areas 54%, and then in Okahanja, we had 57% of the SMS that is used to access information, and then we have Oshiwarongo, and then for television, it was more observed in radio. So they use more radio to access information. And then for the television, it was 55.3 in the urban area, and then Okahanja had 54, and then Oshiwarongo had 55. Social welfare, these are just really the social grants that are acquired by the population. So we have the old age pension grant, followed by the state maintenance grant, and then the disability grant, and then the rest, the GIPF, the workman's compensation, the pension from the previous jobs, the foster parent grants, the war veterans ex-combatant grants, and then the MVA funds. And then we have other. Other basically means it's anything, it's any social grant or grant acquired that is not in this list. For example, we still have people that get their pension funds from South Africa, some form of pension, social grants from South Africa, and then these social grants also included the Harambe, I think, which is the food bank, which was also not in the, I almost said code list, not the code list, which was not part of the questionnaire. Yes, so it was a category as in, yes? Sorry. Yes, so it was a category named other. Okay. Onesimus? I think I'm done. Okay.
Great.
Done with me for now. I'll give it over to Onesimus. Do we tackle any more questions now, or do we proceed to Onesimus to take us on his labor? I don't know. We continue? All right. Okay. Onesimus.
Great. Thank you, Anna. Good. I'm going to you've just said it. Take you through the labor force or the labor statistics. As you may know, that unemployment is one of the critical issues that really burning issue here in our country, and I'm going to take you through to give you an overview at a national level as well as for Otjozondjupa region. Okay, maybe before I start with before I dwell into the statistics, let me start defining so that you'll be able to get aim of what we are talking about when we go to the indicators. First of all, I would like to highlight to say that there is a difference between employment as well as work. When we talk about employment, we are only referring to the individual of the working age population who are engaged into economic-oriented activities, meaning that they are employed by certain institution or by certain individual with the aim of receiving remunerations in forms of salary or wages, or as business people engage into some kind of own account work or self-employment with the hope of getting a profit at the end of the day. But when you talk about work, work is broader. You can do any types of activity without remuneration. That is work. But when it's coming to employment, you have to be falling within what we call a working age population, which is the age from 15 years and above. So if you are engaged into an economic activity and you are falling within that age group, then you have to be categorized as part of the employed population. I also want to define what is the unemployment. Unemployment are those individuals who have indicated that when we conducted this census, they were not in any kind of economic activities, they were active researching for work, and they were also available to start up employment or to engage into some kind of business activities. That is what we call unemployment. Because we take the total of the unemployed individuals and then we divide by what you call the labor force. So the labor force is composed of the total number of the individuals who are employed plus those that are not employed. But they must be falling within the working age population. Now, getting to the statistics. For Otjozondjupa region, the working age population, which is 15 years and above, we are talking about 139,623. So those are the individuals within the working age population. Now, moving down, when you cascade down, looking at those ones that are participating in the labor force, you can see that they're talking about 76,583, which is 54.8% of the working age population. Then we have a category that we call not in the labor force. Not in the labor force, we are this constitute of those that are falling within the potential, what we call potential labor force, and also those that do not want employment. They have indicated that they are not interested in to take up any job due to various reasons, be it being disabled, be it they are pensioner, they have left their job, or full-time students who are busy with their education and have shown that they have no interest. They only would like to take up the job once they complete their education. As you can see, when you talk about the employed population, so it's 68.8% for Otjozondjupa region, of which the unemployed rate is 31.2%. Now, if you have to compare the 31.2% unemployment rate for Otjozondjupa compared to the national we are talking about 36.9%. And you can see it's a quite high number, and something really needs to be done to ensure, creation of employment opportunity for the working age. Now, coming to the potential labor force, which stands at 33.7%, we are saying that these are the individuals who are discouraged. For instance, you graduated from a university or vocational training, you tried looking for a job, but you were unsuccessful. Some of these individuals, they tend to sit home, hoping that they have tried enough, so they become discouraged. And we also have those ones who are not available, but they are still searching for work. For instance, you have students who are doing their final year's, education. So they might apply hoping that, once I complete, maybe I'm done with my final term, I'll be able to get absorbed. But when you ask this individual, are you ready to enter the job market? They will tell you no. That's why we could also categorize them under what we call the potential, labor force. If you have to look at the combined, what we call the combined unemployment rate and potential labor force, the Otjozondjupa region stand at 46.2%. We are saying that for us to be able to get a broader overview of the unemployment situation in the region, we can not only rely in the unemployment rate, but there's also an additional indicator that help us to kind of get a broader overview of the situation, unemployment situation in the region. That's why we have to combine those ones that are in potential labor force, because they are also not working, even though they've indicated that they might not be available to immediately enter the labor market. It means they also might not be doing anything at the moment. So if we have to add them to the unemployed, it provide a broader picture, which is 46.2% compared to 31.2% of the unemployment rate for Otjozondjupa region. Now, apart from the 15 years and above, or working age population, we also thought it would be very important for us to extract the information about the youth. And the youth, we define it as the individual from the age of 15 years up to 34. Even though we also have the international standard that define youth as somebody who is between the age of 15 to 24 years. Like we did with the working age population, we also cascaded the working age population into those subgroups. We have the labor force, which is 52.8% of the working age population. And if you have to look at the unemployment rate, youth unemployment rate for the Otjozondjupa region, we are talking about 37.6%, which is quite high compared to the unemployment rate, the general unemployment rate for the region. The youth, we are talking about 37.6. It's a quite high number. When you talk about the potential labor force at trend, it stood at 34.7%, and those ones who do not want employment out of the, those ones who are outside the labor force, we are talking about 65.3%. And now, looking at the combined for youth, it's even over 50%. Can you imagine? 52.7%. So this is a reflection that much still need to be done to ensure that these youth are absorbed into the labor market so that they can also contribute to the economy of the country as well of that of the region. We also came up with various labor force indicators for persons aged 15 years and above in terms of numbers, absolute number. We also wanted to do the comparison in terms of constituencies to see where the problem is. So as I have already indicated, if you look at the first column, the Otjozondjupa, the total number of employed population, we are talking about 52,652,000. And if you have now to look at the constituency distribution, you can see that Otjozondjupa is really contributing in terms of employment. When we have now to compare the constituencies, you can see Otjozondjupa constituency, we are talking about 13,038 individuals who are employed. And this is followed by Okahanja, we are talking about 11,634. And then the list, as you can see, we have been talking about Tsunkwe. We are only having about 1,335 individuals of working age who are employed, in employment, or to say. Again, if you look at the second column there, the total unemployed in Otjozondjupa region, we are talking about 23,931,000. Okay? And then you can see that Otjozondjupa, we have the high number of those that are unemployed, talking about 7,000. Because remember now the concentration is also, in the urbanized areas, as we just spoke of. And this is followed by Okahanja with 6,445 who are not, in employment. And you can see that Omatako is the least with 886 individuals within the working age population who are not employed. Then we have those that are outside the labor force. If you look at the third column there, which they sum up to 63,043. Okay? Then we also try coming up with a proportion, because it's always good to look at the proportion on those indicator. The first column you can see there, we are talking about the unemployment rate. And we say at the regional level for Otjozondjupa, 31.2% is the unemployment rate for the region. And if you now have to look at which constituencies is having the high unemployment rate, you can see that Tsunkwe at 41.7%. And I think the Honorable Regional Councillor will take note so that try to see how best the situation can be, Then after Tsunkwe, we are talking about Okakarara. Kakarara is 40.5%, so quite so high. And you can see the least is Omatako, 12.3%. Then the second column is also about the combined rate, where we have to add the total number of unemployed plus the potential labor force for us to get a broader of those that do not or are not engaged into any economic activity. As you can see, the combined rate for the region, we are talking about 46.2%. It's also quite a high number. And then if you have to look at, again, in terms of the constituency, you can see that Tsunkwe, 72.2% is the constituency with highest combined, unemployment and potential labor force, 72.2. And this is followed by Okakarara at 57.8%. And as you can see, the list there, we are talking about Sitomatako at 30.5%. Then we have the next two indicators. If you check the fourth column there, and then the third and the fourth, we have EPL. That is the employment to population ratio. You take the total number of the employed population, you divide by the working age population to see the participation of the working age population in terms of employment. At the national level, we are talking about 29.1% for the entire Namibia, okay, which is a quite low number figure. And this already gives a reflection that, you're not really doing well in terms of, employment creation, or to say. Maybe there's a slow expansion of the private sector that can, employ people, or there's, maybe limited programs that can absorb these youth so that they can enter the job market so that they can also contribute to the GDP of the country. But you can see for the region there, Otjozondjupa, the third column, 37.7% is the employment to population ratio. We are trying, but much still need to be done. Then labor force participation rate, which is LFPL, the fourth column, the region stood at 54.8%. You can see that the participation is there, but that it's over 50. But much still need to be done to ensure, improvement in terms of employment creation. If you have to look at the labor force participation rate, you can see that Okahanja, it's topping. We are talking about 60.4%. And this is followed by Otavi. I think there's also some kind of development that's happening there. That's why the labor force participation rate 9.1%. And that is followed by Ochivarongo. The least still goes with, Tsunkwe at 26.6%. Then, of course, the first part we are talking about the working age population, but now the last three, five columns, we are talking about the youth employment statistics. So you can see that, the unemployment rate for youth for the region is at 37.6%. That is so high if you look in, Tsunkwe again, 44.7%. And that is followed by Okahanja at 44.4%. And then the least is still Matako, where we are talking about 13.5% of the youth unemployed. Then the combined, again, it's Tsunkwe, over 70%. We are talking about 75.2%. When we have to look now at the combined rate of potential and unemployed, then that is followed by, Tsunkwe is followed by Okakarara at 57.5%. And thereafter we have, Kahanja at 55.1%. So you can really see that, Tsunkwe, Okakarara, they are topping in terms of the combined. Then again, looking at there's that important indicator that which we call need. That is the proportion of the youth who are not either in education, any training, or any employment. And we must ask ourselves a question to say, what are these youth doing? If they are not part of the employed population, they are also not in any vocational training, they are not attending any, maybe universities, they are not in any form of training. What are they doing? Are they also part of those ones that are maybe are contributing to the high crime rate within the region? And this is one of the indicators that, really give us that reflection. We need to see how best we can, try to lower this, need. Because, maybe by coming up with, entrepreneurship programs so that these youth engage into entrepreneurship activities so that they can also, at a later stage, maybe employ other youth. And this will kind of boost to the economic situation of the region. As you can see there, 43.2% is the need for the region. That is the proportion of those that are not in education, not in a training, or employment. And then you can see that Tsunkwe is still topping, 64.5% of the youth. No school attendance, they are also not in employment. So, Honorable Councillor must take note so that, see how best, we can try to lower this figure. And then for this is followed by Okakarara at 46.7%. And after Okakarara, we are talking about Otavi at 43.4%. And then the least is, Omatako at 33.6%. Okay. Then now, when we conducted, the census, in the labor force module, there's also questions that are integrated to capture the information related to the occupations. Now, these individuals, the working age, have indicated that they're employed or they are performing these types of tasks. What are their roles? What are their roles in terms of the job titles? What types of, tasks that they perform in their, daily, activities? And then these were grouped into what we call major occupation groups. And as you can see for, Otjozondjupa region, we are saying that the majority, 24.6% of the individual are employed or are engaged into what we call elemental occupation. Elemental occupation, these are some form of low-paid, job. For example, we have our general laborer, we have, a domestic worker and those ones, cleaners, and so forth. You can see out of the total employed population for the region, we have a high number of, proportion of those that are engaged in the elemental occupation. And this is followed by skilled agriculture and forestry and fishing. So those are employed in agriculture, skilled agriculture activities. And this is followed by craft and related trade workers. And then, as you can see, we have the list are those ones that are engaged in what we call plant and machine operators and assemblers. Those ones who, who traded into those machine operating, activities. The number is so high. And you can see that armed forces, we are talking about 5.5%. We have, these are the ones that are in the police force as well as our Namibia Defense Force. Yeah, so it's 5.5%. Then managers, the proportion of managers in the region, only 6.5% of the total employed within the region. Okay, then profession, we are talking about 8.3%. So this gives us a reflection in terms of the occupation. Then we try to extract the top, sector or industries that contributed to high proportion of the employed population within the region. You can see that agriculture is contributed to the employed within the region, and you can see that we might have more workers that are employed within our commercial farms around the region who are doing farm works in our farms. Then this is followed by manufacturing. You see, one of the measures of development, you want to see improvement in terms of development, is manufacturing. You can see that Otjozondjupa region is doing quite well in terms of we have been preaching in terms of we do not only want to produce the raw material, but we must also try to convert raw material into finished or semi-finished good. You can see that we are talking about 9.7% for the region. Okay? Then this is followed by a wholesale and retail trade. Those are employed in our for example, retails and wholesales, ShopRite, Pick and Pay there. So once we are talking about 9.2%. Then we have administrative supports activities at 8.8%. Then we have public, administrations and defense. Public administrations, we are talking about, for example, our local authority. We are talking about government ministries, government. So it's foreign. Most of the government institutions are foreign within that, 8.4%. You can see that, public administration is also contributing in terms of, employment opportunity within the Otjozondjupa region. This one is just to give us, an overview. Where do we stand in comparison to the other region? As you can see, the dark part, blue part, is unemployment from the previous, labor force surveys 2018. So you may aware that the last labor force survey that was conducted in Namibia, it was 2018. Due to financial constraint, we are not able to conduct another one in 2019. That's why NSA have decided to ensure that we have, information available for the, planners and policy makers have to make sure that we integrate this module into census so that we can capture the labor-related information to measure the workforce size, the structure in terms of, age and sex. As you can see there, for Otjozondjupa region 2018, we're talking about 36.1%. But in 2023, the figure have dropped down to 31.2% as our regional unemployment rate. But if you look at our two Kavango regions, 2023, we are talking about over 50% of the unemployment rate. You see 52 for Kavango, east, and 52.8 for Kavango, east. You can see that Otjozondjupa is somehow doing well compared to some of those regions. If you even have to look at Ohangwena, we are talking about 47.2% unemployment rate for 2023. And if you look at Omsati, stood at 41.1%. Oshana, there again 41. But Otjozondjupa are talking about 31.2%. I think we are somehow trying, but we must not end here. We must continue pushing forward so that we can try to bring the figures down. I would also like to, very important to highlight, to say that you might be aware that for our previous labor force surveys, we use what we call the 19th ICRS. That is an old kind of definition of measuring the employment. But for 2023, we adopted a new employment definition. We use what we call the 19th ICRS. The labor force statistician or expert around the globe, they meet every after 5 years to ensure that they refine, the methodology as per the country's context. Okay, it could be also that the figure they might be brought down due to the change in the definition. Of course, previously, I would like to give a typical example of, for instance, the subsistence farmer. Part of them were categorized as part of the employed population, but in very fact, some of them they might not be engaged into economically oriented activity. Some of them, they are only producing to feed their families, but not to sell, to the markets to generate income. That's why they can never be categorized as part of the employed, because they are not producing for the market. We also have our volunteers. Our volunteers, they are not, some of them, they are not remunerated. They are not getting an income. Therefore, they be categorized as part of the unemployed. We also have those ones that are doing apprenticeship and internship. They are only doing it, some of them, they are doing it to acquire knowledge that is a requirement of their field of study, but not necessary to say that they are employed. That's why it narrowed the definition, okay? Because some form of, unpaid form of work were removed. Then this one is just to also kind of give you an overview in terms of the unemployment rate with the combined rate. As you can see for Otjozondjupa, we indicated that the unemployment rate stood at 31.2%, while the combined, if you have to add the potential, those ones that are discarded, and plus those that are unavailable job seeker, it goes high to 46.2%. Then the population that is outside the labor force, we also wanted to understand those one who have indicated that they are not searching and they are also not available to start work or to engage into some kind of self-employment or being own account workers. What are these individuals doing? For Otjozondjupa region, you can see that for the outside labor force, the high proportion of 34.6%, is taking care. They are taking care of their homes or their families, followed by those ones who indicated that they are studying full-time basis, talking about 33.1%. And then we have others at 16.7%. They are saying this also include those that are doing internship as well as apprenticeship. Then we have old people who are receiving pension. This is 12%, and the least are those ones who indicated that they are not interested because of long-term disability as well as injuries. Thank you.
Okay, now the other statistics is it's about, I just want to run you through this one because of time. It's the household and housing that are beheaded by different categories like elderly people or maybe children and so on. We have an average household of size of let's say in Tsumkwe, for Otjozondjupa it's 3.6, but let's see in Tsumkwe it's 4.4. The average household size per person, let's say 3 people that are in one house or in one household. For Tsumkwe, there are maybe 4 people at one house. This is the highest in Otjozondjupa region, while the lowest is in Omatako, where we have 3 people at one household. This one is the statistics for, in terms of male and female who's heading the household. In Otjozondjupa, we have, let's say 51.4 are headed by male, while the 42.6% are headed by female. And then we have those ones that are headed by children. You can see, like in Tsumkwe, the household is headed by the children, which is topping the list, and the rest is below 0.8%. By elderly people, the highest is in Okakarara, where we have 23.4% of the people, the elderly that are heading the household. The least is in Okahanjao. We spoke about these languages already. That is basically, here we see how many amenities in Otjozondjupa region in terms of the water, the safe drinking water, the toilet facility, and the flush toilets. Maybe these are some of the statistics that we also need in terms of us to, especially the town council and municipality, in terms of taking care of those ones. Energy for lighting, like in Otavi, many people are using candles, while in Okakarara, they are using this paraffin as a lighting. And then in Tsumkwe, it means none. Anna, what do you mean by none, especially in Tsumkwe?
For none, is anything else other than they don't use either electricity, paraffin, wood, candles, or solar energy, or the battery lamps. So they don't have any form of lighting.
Of lighting, okay. All right, these are the information. Maybe you can, we'll share this information for you to plan well. In terms of a strategic implication, we see that in terms of urbanization, this is something that we as a Otjozondjupa governor, we see that there is an increase between 2011 and 2023 in terms of urbanization. We have a 53.4%. That will put us pressure in terms of housing, water, sanitation, and electricity. The other one is poor sanitation, significant proportion of households without sanitation. There we have to complete and undermine effective planning and target intervention. And another one is informal housing. Basically, these are the information for the report that the census regional report. What we're going to do now is just to run through the proximity report quickly. Where's the proximity report? Here. Okay.
Thank you, Unja. Okay, this one is slightly shorter than the other one. So, okay, so this is the national population proximity. So, in simple terms, it's just how far the population is from a certain health facility and how far the population is in terms of network coverage, if they are connected or not connected.
Okay.
So just also worth mentioning, I think we can just go. You can still go? Again. Okay. So for the proximity, this is just data that's taken from the census, the health facilities from Ministry of Health, which are only the mapped health facilities. Because we have health facilities that are not mapped because of security reasons, which are the health facilities like at the army bases. And then we are also saying, and then one of the data that was also collected from is also we got the data from, the GIS team got the data from CRAN. So the methodology that was used was the GIS mapping, but then all in all, it was everything came from the census data. And also, it's also worth mentioning that these mapped health facilities, the ones that will be projected, it's only for 2022. So that is the latest that we had gotten from, that the NSA had gotten from Ministry of Health, so it's still subject to change. Okay, we can go. All right, so this is just a presentation of this is now nationally, the number of health facilities by region. So we have, in general, in Namibia, we have 49 hospitals, 421 clinics, and 60 health facilities, which is a total of 530 health facilities. And then if we go to, where are we here? So in Otjozondjupa, we are saying we have 36 health facilities, which constitutes of 5 hospitals, 27 clinics, 4 health facilities. And then we are just this percentage, basically, it's the total percentage of the population with respect to the health facilities, which is 6.8%. Okay? We can still move. Okay. So for this slide, we have the health facilities to population ratio. So to break it down here, we are saying in Otjozondjupa, since we have 36 health facilities, we are, and the population of 220,000, we are saying that for every health facility, one health facility caters, this is
6,100.
It caters 6,134 people. So that's one health facility catering 6,000 people. And then, quickly go back to the previous one, Unja. And then we had, there was one that had quite a huge ratio here. It was Oshana. Is it Oshana? I'm Sati.
Oshikoto.
Yes, it's Oshikoto, ne? With this is 9,000. This is what I can't really see from afar.
Yeah, Oshana with 9,000.
Okay, so we are saying in Oshana at least, so for every health facility it caters 9,000 people. Okay, breaking it down, we have Okakarara has 8 health facilities, and then we are saying that in Okakarara at least 1 health facility caters for 3,000 people. Tsumkwe has the least, also so because the population is quite very low, and then the number of health facilities are 4 with a population of 15,000, so it basically means 1 health facility caters 3,000 people. And then the higher concentration is here in Okahanja with 3 health facilities taking up at least 15,000. Yes. Okay, we can go. Okay. We can move. Okay. So here is the national standard distance to health facilities and the population. So this is just really telling us the standard distance in kilometers from the population with respect to the health facilities. So we are saying that here in Otjozondjupa, it's the standard distance, so it's in kilometers. Okay. Oh, my apologies. I'm trying to look at this number. Okay, so it's 137.2 kilometers. This is the standard distance for the health facility. And then we have 142 kilometers for the population itself. Okay. So quickly go back again. So we are saying that the distances, it shows the concentration of that at least 68% of the health facilities compared to that of the population. So basically, if I have to put it in simple terms, it's sort of just how far the distances are from the how far the population is with respect to the health facilities. And then this center here is just really the center where you'd say most of the population is and the health facilities. So we are saying here the center is in Otjozondjupa region. So the center is somewhere here around a Tunda clinic. So this is not an exact spot also because of security reasons. So the Americans can possibly come and just put a bomb there because they would know that at least there's a higher number of people around that area. So it's not the exact, it's just around that area. So it's not the exact location. Okay, Unja, we go. All right, here we have the population within a 10-kilometer radius from a health facility. So I think we can go to the next. It will put it more in depth. Okay. So for this guy here, we are saying that in Grootfontein, okay, I can't see. Sorry. Okay. I think this is more visual. Okay. Okay, so here we are saying that in Grootfontein, as an example, with a population of 36,000 people, so we have at least, let me take the percent. So this is the number of persons within a 10-kilometer of a health facility. So we are saying that at least 77.3% of the population are within the 10-kilometer radius of a health facility. So Ministry of Health is saying that you should be at least within a 10-kilometer radius. You should be within 10 kilometers to reach the nearest health facility. So it means, so this 77.3% are within the 10-kilometer radius. So it means the rest, the remaining, which is 30 point something percent fall outside the 10-kilometer radius, which basically means these people or these persons have to walk at least 10 kilometers or more to the nearest health facility. And then the least is, so we have in Tsumkwe, which recorded, it's Omatako. So we are saying 43% of the population of Omatako are within the 10-kilometer radius. So the 60.60-something percent have to walk at least 10 kilometers or more to the nearest health facility. Thank you, Unja. We can go. Okay. So we can unzoom this guy. Okay. We can go. We can move. I can move. Oh, go back again. Okay. Yes, so this is now just the longest distance to the closest health facility. This is quite a bit faint, but this is just showing how long or for how many kilometers an average person would walk to the nearest facility. It could be longer because geographically it's always just measured as a straight line, but if we have to put it on the ground, then you take into consideration how many turns and the bumps and everything that has been taken for that person to get to the nearest health facility. So the distance could be more than this guy here. Okay. We go. We move. Again. Okay. So, let's zoom this guy again. Sure. I'm sorry, but I tried fixing this, but it failed me. I think I'll have to squint my eyes again. Okay, so here it's just the health facilities and the population by network coverage. So, example here in Otjozondjupa, per se, we have the 2G, the 3G or 4G networks that are still being used. And then we have the percentage without network coverage. So in Otjozondjupa in general, we have at least 12.4% of the population that are without network coverage. So 80-something percent have network. And then in Oshiwarongo, we are saying 2.4% of the population are without. Okay, let's take Tsumkwe. We would always want to take the lowest. So here we are saying in Tsumkwe, Unja, please, is this 68?
Yeah.
Okay, at least 68% of the population are without the network coverage. So it means 40-something percent have access to network coverage. So this is a huge number, which is a highlight. In terms with the health facilities, we are saying that let's take Tsumkwe again. So for Tsumkwe, we are saying that based on their health facilities, yeah. So we are saying in Tsumkwe, 50% of the health facilities have network coverage, and then the others don't have network coverage. And then we look at who's this guy here? Is this Okakarara or Omatako? I need assistance, please. Okay, so we are saying Okakarara has 12.5% of the population, the health facilities, 12% of the health facilities do not have network coverage.
While Tsumkwe is 50%.
Yes. I think that, yes, that concludes the end of the presentation.
Okay, these are the two presentations that we have done for today. Maybe before we officially launch, or we ask the governor to come and launch it for us, is there any questions from the House, maybe on those two reports that were presented?
Shoot.
Any questions?
There is one there.
Okay. right, any other question or clarity? I hope it's clear. Like I said before, the statistics, when we collected this data, we are following a certain methodology that is guided by the United Nations. Probably, if you want more information or or any other statistics, for example, I remember in one of the towns, we were saying that the informal dwelling, it's more than the formal one, but they wanted to know more information on that one. That can also be provided. We can filter those information and provide it based on your request. Yeah. Okay, I think the statistics is clear. Before that, now I will give the floor to the governor to officially launch the reports in the region, in the Otjozondjupa region.
It is for me a singular honor and a privilege as the governor of the Otjozondjupa region to launch the presentation of the 2023 population and housing census results, 2023 labor force census module, regional profiles, as well as other socioeconomic indicators by Namibia Statistics Agency.
Technical difficulties.
Give me a round of applause. Thank you very much. Now the report is official for Otjozondjupa.
Yes. I think the director of ceremony has other commitments. She asked me to lead the proceeding again. The next point now is the keynote address from the governor.
Give the governor a round of applause. Hello. Director of Ceremonies, the Chairperson of the Regional Council of Otjozondjupa Region, his fellow councillors, His Worship the Mayor of Chiwarongo, Honorable Gottlieb Kendi Shifute, our Deputy Regional Commander, Piedras Shipepe, Chief Executive Officer of Chiwarongo Town Council, Mberi Hivitikeko, Statistician General, Mr. Alex Shimwafeni, employees of the National Statistics Agencies, all distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to you all. I'm a teacher by profession. Very good morning to you all. That is how it should go. Otjozondjupa region is a very vast region. Chiwarongo being the capital, surrounded by Okahanja, Grootfontein, Otavi, Omatako, Okakarara, and the biggest, vastest constituency of the region, which is Chomkwe. The main report of Namibia 2023 Population and Housing Census was conducted and completed throughout all 14 regions. This housing census for policy formulation and planning to support the national development goals like national development plans and action agenda 2063 of sustainable development goals. Otjozondjupa region is 58,237 households with 94.6% safe cleaning water. During the next census, I want Otjozondjupa region to have access to 98.99% of clean drinking water in over 70% households. I want to see Otjozondjupa region from 39% fresh toilets to at least 48% fresh toilets. Waste disposal is a challenge throughout our region. We need to do more in the region to manage our waste properly. Most of the towns and villages are having serious challenges with reference to waste management. They are literally swimming in a pool of sewage water and dumps in the middle of the townships. A household with persons with disability throughout the region is 5,969 and 3,287 people with disability-headed households. Ladies and gentlemen, overneeded households in the Otjozondjupa region is 495. Primary school enrollment for the population between the ages of 6 to 13 in Otjozondjupa is 26,948. And I have alluded these statistics for future planning. In our region, school-going kids 6 years and above are 182,476, and 52% of the learners is out of school. This figure is very high, as most of our children are not attending school. Education Ministry must look into this issue seriously. Those attending tertiary had a relative low share of 3.5%, while persons attending adult education had the lowest share of 0.3%. People not attending early childhood development throughout the region is 30,396. Most of them failed to attend the school because of financial constraints or one or other economic situations that hampered them to complete the education cycle. Ladies and gentlemen, let us keep our children and neighbors' children in schools, as well as everything that will be almost free from next year onwards. We have 2,208 people in Otjozondjupa region. There are 113,280 people, are more than the female population of 107,531. The main objective of the census is to provide latest demographic and socioeconomic information about the population and their living conditions. Our region finds itself in a predicament of 46% unemployment rate. Half of the employable age rate of our people are unemployed. from the 140,000 employable people, 70,000 people are unemployed in our region. It speaks volumes. Whether I'm miscoded as a regionalist, when our people are not employed in our region, there is no other choice than to put down my foot and say, at entry levels where our people have the qualifications, the technical know-how, and the expertise, I propose that we employ at least 50%, 60%, otherwise 70% of our own people from our region, and open up the cake for 30%, remaining 30% for the rest of the regions. My argument is based on who are the ones that are serving at the Human Resource Division, selecting the interview panel. If in our region, people of the region are not considered at any employment, while they have the qualifications, technical know-how, at one or other time around, for the fact that my office is undaunted with so many inquiries about people who are not shortlisted but have the possible qualification, I think regional intervention is needed here. Ladies and gentlemen, I have alluded census is meant for development and planning for schools, clinics, hospitals, and grants like old age, orphans, and disability. Let's value and marvel all the efforts made by the Director General and his esteemed team. With these few words, I so submit. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Governor. Again, a round of applause. Now it's the time for, I don't know, maybe I'll ask the chairperson of the councillors is here. Yeah, to give the vote of thanks. Honorable Shipura. Oh, Hukura. Honorable Hukura. Oh, from Avitoto. Matako. Thank you.
Matako constituency.
Matako constituency. Oh, okay. Matako constituency. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so very much. It is indeed my honor to stand here and to move a vote of thanks for this event. Honorable Governor, thank you so very much for officially launching these the statistics for the region, and equally also to give us the keynote. It was to the point. And exactly I wanted to touch on some of those things that the Honorable Governor touched on how we are going to go about in terms of addressing the challenges that we are faced with, now that we have the statistics. Honorable Chairperson of the Regional Council, thank you so very much for the welcoming that you have done. All the regional councillors present here, thank you for gracing the event. Our acting CRO, for keeping our institution alive and representing us here. The Statistician General in absentia and the team of NSA, let me thank you so very much for a well-crafted presentation that gives us a narrative on where to start and where our region stands. Our regional commander, deputy commander, Shipepe, thank you for gracing the event with your presence. I hope you also benefited from this information, just like I did. And as a team, we are going to work together in terms of addressing some of the challenges that are faced by the region. Our CEO of Okanya, thank you for gracing the event. Is that the only CEO that I'm seeing here? Is it the only town council that is represented here? This is very crucial. Oh, yes. This is very crucial for our town councils. This statistics speaks directly to our towns and the region at large. The regional council and the town councils must own up. Honorable Governor, now that these statistics are launched, we have a lot of work to do now. Because they say, in Afrikaans, they say, om te meet is om te weet. If you don't know anything, if you can't measure anything, you will not know. So now that we have measured ourselves, now we know where we are. Now the question remains, what are we going to do with it? As leaders. Now it's up to us, Honorable Governor and the Chairperson, the Honorable Members, maybe to call the RDCC and to select key areas. What we say, no, these are our key areas where we are going to concentrate in terms of maybe our 5-year plan or 3-year plan or whatever. Issues like water and sanitations, issues like health. Why don't we have a referral hospital in this region? Ochivarongo, Otjozondjupa region. People are coming from all these regions, passing by here, going to Window. Why can't we have a referral hospital in the region? Maybe this is one of the key issues that we need to look at. Honorable Governor, Honorable Chairperson, and our dear Honorable Members. The issue of unemployment, it keeps coming up so many times, and that is the key for food security, for, if we want to fight poverty, we need to employ our people. But how are we going to employ people? Are they really employable when it comes to our youth? Are they employable? Do they have the skills? How are we going to strengthen that part? We have the VTCs, we have the skills development centers. And luckily, I've heard that they have introduced entrepreneurship as a subject also. Now, I think this is now the opportunity for us to make sure that our youth will go through this. Those ones who did not make it the first time to the universities and so forth, to give them a second chance of their life, to let them go through the skills development centers, those who with very low marks, maybe to take them, that will bridge them into the vocational training centers. And obviously from the vocational training centers, I think most of them will be able to employ themselves, and equally also other 2 or 3 members. So, Honorable Governor, I call on you and your office and the chairperson to, now that we have the statistics, maybe to make it a point to call a meeting with all the stakeholders, which will, of course, include the Regional Development Coordination Committee, for us to now start plan accordingly. You touched on a very important aspect, that of employment creation for our youth. What is it that we are going to do to make sure that our youth are employed locally here in the region? We've got the B2 goals of this world. We have got the cheetah cements, the horongos, we've got the agricultural sector. You know, we've got what it takes to employ our people. Maybe we need to bring them in a hole like this one. We analyze these statistics together, and we draw a plan out of that to see how we are going to deal with our people. Each and every region have got these statistics. What is it that they are doing in terms of addressing some of those challenges? So I leave it up to my Honorable Governor and my Honorable Chairperson and the whole entire leadership, including our town councils, very much. Media houses, thank you so very much for being here and making sure that this event is also covered. I hope this is not going to end here inside. This will go out to the public for them also to benefit from the information that we've got here. With that said, I thank you, Madam Director, and everybody. When we leave here, those who are traveling, I wish you all the travel mercies. Thank you so much.
Madam Director, you are back. Maybe you can take the floor. I am a visitor.
Thank you so much, Honorable Hukura, for the vote of thanks. My apologies, I'm juggling things outside the office. I'm traveling now also, so that's why I was in and out. And that has brought us to the end of our program. Unfortunately, we could not manage to get refreshments. So the little snacks you got, I believe will have nourished you at least for the time that you've been here. So let me take this opportunity to also thank you all for making time to be part of this meeting. Thank you so much.